What's up there, Workforce? Chris here with Work To Game, and I wanted to talk about the right way to play Blue Mage. Yesterday we saw a lot of ways to play Blue Mage between Bryan and I. I know I put 14, 15 hours on Blue Mage yesterday between helping other people level Blue Mage, between going off to search for skills, between playing from 1 all the way to 50. I played a lot of Blue Mage, and you're exposed to a lot of parts of our culture that you don't always see from the day to day. And so I think the right way to play Blue Mage is to view this as side content, to view this as alternative content to the mainline game. So the mainline game I would define as clearing your MSQ and clearing the things that currently grant roughly the best eye level. So not necessarily Savage or Ultimate, all that. I would consider that kind of side content too, geared towards hardcore players only, but far from being mainline, everybody's meant to enjoy it. So this is going to include things like dungeons, alliance raids, all those things that drop the current tome, and then that current tome gear, and then that's about it. Everything outside of that, I think, is side content in various buckets. So we have like our single player buckets where you talk about crafters and gatherers interacting with the market, sightseeing log, things like that. Then you have, some small group buckets where you can kind of do it by yourself. It can also be fun to do in groups. That's where you start to talk about things like going and doing hunts and leaves and fates and leveling alternate classes, Palace of the Dead, Heaven on High, Eureka, and that's starting to move up that gradient into group content where you start to talk about things moving like PvP and maps and all this stuff. And there's so many things. Golden Saucer somewhere on that spectrum. Minions are somewhere on that spectrum. Mounts are somewhere on that spectrum. And this game is enormous. And you just choose kind of which of those side things you want to do once you've cleared your MSQ and you're caught up on story. Blue Mage fits in that. Blue Mage is that category. And there's really only 2 categories. There's the main category, and then there's everything else. And Blue Mage is just somewhere in that category. So what's most important is that you go into it with the right attitude and that you think about it from the perspective of, right now I already have a main. Right now I already have a secondary class that I play. So even if they had released this as something that could be your main, odds are that would just have pushed something else to being less of a main, because you can't equally spend time on all the classes unless you just play a ridiculous number of hours. So I really think that the way to enjoy it is to just sit down and say, what would you enjoy most? Do you want to know the skills? Because the spoilers are out there. Do you want to know the fastest way to level? Because according to Reddit, somebody did it in under an hour, and Bryan and I tried a couple of leveling methods yesterday, and we found one that I think, theoretically, given the right items and the right spin, an hour is not that far off. There are people who said, oh my gosh, I'm only level 15. How in the world could people level? I understand how they did that. There are people that are going to go out and try to find each skill on their own. There is a million ways to play this class, and there is no way to do it wrong, as long as you're having fun. Now, the one thing I would say within that is make sure that you're not doing it at the expense of somebody else. So yesterday we saw a lot of griefing, where you see level 70s just killing things that they know Blue Mages want. You see right before the skills go off. You also see people hogging tags, not grouping up for tags. It's a very social class, especially early on here, while there's so many Blue Mages out in the world. So, you can totally play on yourself, but if you're playing by yourself and there's 20 other Blue Mages there, it's kind of a dick move to grab all 20 of the spawns and then just wait on them all to cast the spell on you. And as a Blue Mage, I would say keep in mind that if somebody's being a jerk, killing the mob that they've already tagged, that before the ability goes off, doesn't make that person go away, because they're going to stay there until they get the ability. So when you see people going back and forth, kind of bickering, for lack of another term, starting to send mean messages, things like that, these are all not the right way to play Blue Mage. So where Blue Mage fits in content long term, what it means for the game, I think that's another video. What Blue Mage could do better, I think that's another video. What I really like about Blue Mage, I think that's another video. What I really just wanted to talk briefly about was, what is the right way to play it, and how should you go into this class thinking about it, and start that discussion. So I think the best way to do it is to go to Lower Decks in Limsa, pick up the quest, watch the quest line. When I was asked last night on the stream, from a scale of 1 to 10 where we thought the quality of the Blue Mage storyline came from, our responses ranged from, I would give it a Hildebrand on a scale of 1 to 10 because it is absolutely ridiculous, all the way to it showed us in a new and different way story and context leading into Shadowbringers. Mainline story has to be so serious because they don't want to spoil somebody's immersion. This is a real chance to kind of poke fun at and explore another angle and another viewpoint that gives us a better feel and context for like what the real struggles are of the individuals in these zones and things like that. So I liked the perspective of the main character. I liked the perspective of kind of the other characters that popped up throughout the storyline, what their backstory was. I thought it was really good, and I'm not the lore guy on the channel, so I really enjoyed it. It was the right roughly number of quests and amount of time watching cutscenes for me, so it might be a little light for somebody that really digs this game for story. So maybe they should have some Blue Mage side quests or some stuff like that for them to kind of explore that don't have to be voice acted or even animated, just kind of cutscenes that have, or I mean, just kind of like little text boxes and dialogue and stuff to really help fill in any blanks that people have. So that is all I wanted to say. I just wanted to make sure that people are going into this excited. It is something to be enjoyed. Seeing other people enjoying it differently doesn't mean your way is wrong. Just get out there and try Blue Mage. It's just a new and different piece of content. I personally have never seen anything quite like this in any MMORPG ever. And I think it's something that, if they keep going in this direction with it, is something that could have an impact on the industry as a whole. I think it's really changed my perspective on what do you do when you have an idea that doesn't fit your normal mold. Do you change the idea to fit the mold and risk diluting the idea? Or do you find a way to create a system in your game that allows you to ignore the rules just for a little bit? Suspend disbelief just long enough that you can explore this iteration and then go back to the normal game. It's pretty cool to see people in zones that I don't remember the last time I was there. So that's it. I got a couple more videos to record. We're going to have a lot of discussion about Blue Mage for the next week or two, if not months. So definitely keep an eye out for more streams, more videos. Let us know in the comments below what you guys are thinking about Blue Mage. I can't wait to have that discussion with you guys. I can't wait to get back on and finish up Blue Mage. I'm level 50, and as of recording this video, I've got a little less than half the skills. I've got my Masked Festival unlocked, Masked Carnival, whatever that's called. And I finished all that story, and I've gotten I've gotten decent gear for it and stuff like that. So I'm really happy with it. I think I'm at like 222, and I think I could push it just a little bit higher if I'd spent my poetics just a little differently. I didn't know what loot would be coming my way. So my name's Chris with Work To Game. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, hello. Were you expecting somebody? Chuck-like? Well, I'll never tell where he is. Only that if you want to see your friend again, you should totally hit subscribe. And maybe even a thumbs up. Thumbs down don't make me happy. And when I'm not happy, something happens to Chuck. I'm not joking. Goodbye. Subscribe. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. See you next time.